Welcome to the 2023 Celebration of Preservation, brought to you by AIA Cleveland and the Cleveland Restoration Society. This program illustrates the mission of the Cleveland Restoration Society by highlighting our community's very best preservation projects, those that revitalize our communities, strengthen our local economy, and enhance our quality of life. Historic preservation is an important part of the work of the Cleveland chapter of the American Institute of Architects. The Historic Resources Committee is comprised of leading heritage experts with a deep commitment to preserving Northeast Ohio's historic resources. The committee advances the professional practice of preservation architecture, but also serves as an advocate and educator. Like the Society, the American Institute of Architects promotes the value of preservation as an essential sustainability tool. This year, much of our program recognizes small projects that have made a big impact within our community. And of course, we continue to celebrate projects that have made use of state and federal historic tax credits, one of the most important tools for the preservation of our historic structures. And now, let's give a round of applause to all of those who have supported the awards this year, beginning with our generous capital level sponsor, DLR Group. Many thanks to our 2023 pillar level sponsors. Your contribution is appreciated. And to our cornice level sponsors, your support means so much to us. A heartfelt thanks to our awards jury. Our amazing jurors worked diligently this year, reviewing many strong nominations. Jurors dedicated much of their time to thoroughly review project materials and make site visits across several counties. Our awards jury selected projects that met the criteria established by AIA Cleveland and the Cleveland Restoration Society. This criteria includes quality of the work, adherence to recognized preservation standards, risk factors, strategic implications to promote preservation in the region, innovative preservation, financing, or partnering techniques, and impact of the nominated property on the larger community. Without further ado, it's time to see our winners. The honorable mention for restoration of a historic feature award goes to the Westminster Presbyterian Steeple. The Westminster Presbyterian Church is the largest Presbyterian church in Eastminster Presbytery, which encompasses a region between Barberton and the eastern boundary of the state of Ohio. Designed in the Georgian colonial style, the central building in the church complex was constructed in 1927. The sanctuary was dedicated in 1950 and a hall added in 1960. The steeple was largely built at ground level and raised on November 7, 1949, a dramatic event that drew parishioners, neighbors, and the newspaper to the church grounds. The steeple was last painted in 1987. Prior to painting at that time, the contractor sandblasted the panels to remove the old paint. This resulted in considerable buckling of the copper face and an unsightly, wavy appearance. The blackened, dented steeple had become a neighborhood eyesore. In 2019, Frost Architectural Preservation was contracted to repair, preserve, replicate, and paint the steeple, including the oculus windows, belfry, tower, and louvers. The three oculus windows located on the masonry steeple had severe wood rot on the outer trim and wood muntins. The severely rotted wood was replicated and replaced with new wood, but areas of minor deterioration were treated using wood replacement epoxy. The four metal louvers were bent and damaged and were replicated with new custom aluminum ones. Efforts were made to preserve all original decorative details, such as the capitals and pilaster bases. Once the project was completed and scaffolding was removed, neighbors and church members were able to view the refurbished steeple. A new carillon was installed and was first played on Christmas Eve. It is now programmed to play at noon each day. The restoration of this significant and visible architectural feature has certainly made an impact on the surrounding community and is able to be enjoyed by everyone. It is for these reasons the Westminster Presbyterian steeple is being presented with the honorable mention for restoration of a historic feature award. The Heritage Home Program Award goes to homeowners Nick Downer and Sarah Muscarella at 2697 East 127th Street. 2697 East 127th Street was built in the early 1920s and is located in the Larchmere neighborhood of Cleveland. Prior to becoming part of Cleveland proper, the land where the Larchmere neighborhood sits used to be part of Newburgh Township. However, by 1911, most of what is today's Larchmere neighborhood was annexed by the city of Cleveland. Between the 1910s and 1920s, most of what is now Larchmere's neighborhood was divided into allotted subdivisions to pave the way for residential development. Most of the homes in the neighborhood were built during this period, including Nick and Sarah's house, and the neighborhood became a mixture of Cleveland doubles and single-family homes. Today, Larchmere is one of Cleveland's most popular arts and antique districts, with popular shopping and dining options, as well as neighborhood events like Porch Fest. The homeowners of 2697 East 127th Street, Nick Downer and Sarah Muscarella, used the Heritage Home Loan Program beginning in 2022 for their home repair projects. The home's original kitchen was slightly disjointed, with the sink located in the butler pantry area off the main kitchen. This pantry area was turned into a half bath, adding another bath to the previously one-bathroom home. They contracted with Eric Swain and Front Gate RPD Limited to complete projects, including renovating the kitchen. The sink was relocated to the main kitchen area, as well as the addition of new cabinets and shelving with greater functionality and style for modern needs. The enclosed back porch is located off the main kitchen area. Previous owners had sided over the exterior door. For the renovation project, the door was opened up again and the porch itself was stabilized, adding another exit to the driveway and backyard for the owners and their dog. The stabilization and renovation of the back porch area even allowed for an additional seating area near the back door where the owners could look out into the backyard. What a truly fantastic project! For these reasons, the Cleveland Restoration Society is pleased to present the Heritage Home Program Award to 2697 East 127th Street. The Award of Merit for Community Impact goes to Studio West 117 Fieldhouse. Originally, the Baumgartner Manufacturing Company building, built in 1909, this structure is part of the historic industrial fabric on the east end of Lakewood, located just north of Detroit Avenue. The building played an important role in the growth of the company, a funeral supply manufacturer, which held a patent for an innovative funeral casket bier. While simplified and pared down in style, the structure is a great representation of industrial architecture and speaks to Lakewood's industrial past. Now it has been fully renovated and adaptively reused as part of the new Studio 117, a development created to provide a welcoming environment for Greater Cleveland's LGBTQ plus community and its allies. During the construction process, much effort was taken to preserve as much of the industrial character of the building as possible. The brick and original historic structure was preserved, along with the original volume of the space. A new concrete floor was poured to match the original. Some of the complex's historic windows were preserved as well. The development has also repurposed found materials, such as the safety glass manufacturing equipment from the last building owner, which is now prominently on display in the private dining room. It is open and inclusive to all people and spans over 300,000 square feet. The complex is an evolving collection of venues and amenities and includes a rooftop patio, gymnasium, and restaurants. Future plans include adding housing, a health clinic, and small business retail space. Studio West 117 is first of its kind, created for and by the LGBTQ plus community of Greater Cleveland. Studio West 117 is not just a development, but a neighborhood catalyst and shows long-term investment in its corner of Lakewood. It is for these reasons that the Studio West 117 Fieldhouse is being presented with the Award of Merit for Community Impact. The Reinstatement of Historic Character Award goes to the Exeter Road Residence. This Exeter Road Residence is a contributing home to the Shaker Farm Historic District in Cleveland Heights, which is an early 20th century suburban residential development first laid out in 1904, predating the development of today's Shaker Heights. Constructed in 1916, the house possesses both Tudor Revival and Craftsman architectural characteristics, as do many homes in the area. Over the years, this house was subject to several remodeling projects that covered or removed many of its historic features. With this restoration project, the homeowners aimed to reverse many of these incompatible changes. While there was originally a masonry stoop at the front door, at one point a wooden deck was built over the damaged masonry. The original masonry stoop was restored. Incompatible modifications had been made on the interior as well. Part of the original layout was reconfigured with mismatched floors, and a small, drafty, late mid-century addition was added. Non-original bookcases were removed and wood flooring made consistent throughout the home. Now the addition has been re-roofed, and the highly permeable thermal envelope of the mid-century addition was replaced with modern insulated construction. The kitchen was remodeled as changes were made to reinstate historic character to the home. In the dining room, new windows were installed and an inappropriate sliding glass door was removed. A new master bathroom has been built, which necessitated an unfortunate soffit in the living room to conceal plumbing. This plumbing is now relocated. 2 of the sun porch windows were blocked. These were reinstated and a door was changed back to a window. Openings of an upstairs sleeping porch were infilled with an aluminum storm sash. New fenestration was installed to match the home's historic character. Over the years, this home has been subject to many unfortunate changes. The homeowners put in tremendous effort to restore the glory of this beautiful home, and they have truly succeeded in doing so. It is for these reasons that the Exeter Road residence is being presented with the Reinstatement of Historic Character Award. The Catalyst for Community Preservation Award goes to the City of Cleveland Heights Historic Preservation Design Guidelines. Historic preservation design guidelines are an important historic preservation tool that local governments can utilize to promote and educate their community about preservation standards, local history, and architectural styles. Design guidelines are a published document that typically provides images and descriptions of the most prominent architectural styles and types within a city. The City of Cleveland Heights has over 50 local landmarks, 9 properties individually listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and 15 National Register historic districts, among many historic buildings and neighborhoods that do not yet bear official designation. The City of Cleveland Heights has a landmark ordinance and commission which is tasked with working to preserve these many historic structures and neighborhoods in the city. Locally designated historic buildings must undergo a design review process for exterior changes, which protects the important character-defining features of designated landmark properties. However, prior to 2021, the city did not have any single document or design guidelines to assist property owners with the practical preservation of these historic properties. In 2019, after amendments to the city's landmark ordinance, the City of Cleveland Heights officially became a certified local government, or CLG, with the State Historic Preservation Office. In 2020, the city was awarded a CLG grant to create a set of historic preservation design guidelines to better educate and inform the community about historic preservation and the design review process. The project was executed during the most difficult months of COVID, with completion in September 2021. The Landmark Commission, Architectural Board of Review, and City Planning Department staff showed exceptional dedication to working with historic preservation consultants, Naylor Wellman, to accomplish this goal. The Architectural Board of Review and Landmark Commission now make the guidelines available to applicants and use them as a reference in their reviews. Guidelines may also be referenced in Planning Commission or Board of Zoning Appeals cases. With guidelines in place, the city expects more historically appropriate alterations, additions, fewer rejected permit applications, and the creation of a helpful tool to guide sensitive rehabilitation. The guidelines will give property owners, architects, and contractors a clear understanding of the expectations for the treatment of homes, commercial buildings, and sites, and share the importance of preserving the character of our neighborhoods, both designated and undesignated. The collection of historic resources within the City of Cleveland Heights has created a unique community identity, neighborhood environment, and sense of place that cannot be replicated. Historic preservation design guidelines will serve as an important resource and tool for everyone in the community moving forward. It is for these reasons the Cleveland Restoration Society and AIA are pleased to present the City of Cleveland Heights Historic Preservation Design Guidelines with the Catalyst for Community Preservation Award. The award for compatible addition to a historic structure goes to the Ford Nature Center. Located in Youngstown's Mill Creek Park Historic District, the Ford Nature Center was first built in 1912 as a residence for C.S. Robinson, a former director of the Mill Creek Metro Parks. Both the home and garage were retrofitted into park facilities in 1972. The home served as a nature center, and the garage became the education building. Since that time, neither structure received any significant renovations. In recent years, it was determined that the exhibit spaces did not meet current needs, nor did the building meet accessibility requirements. The renovation of the Ford Nature Center addressed these issues by fully renovating the interior spaces, adding 1,500 square feet of new exhibit space, repurposing the garage into a new education building, all while maintaining the historical character of the facility. On the exterior of both buildings, organic growth was removed, the buildings were gently washed, and new gutters and downspouts were installed. Tuscan wood columns at the rear and side porches of the Nature Center were repaired. All existing windows in the Nature Center were retained. Existing doors that were beyond their useful life and did not meet accessibility and security requirements for the facility were replaced with new aluminum-clad wood exterior doors. At the education building, existing garage doors at the front were replaced by new man door units with side lights and a transom window. All windows in the education building were replaced with aluminum-clad windows with insulated glazing. Double-hung units were installed to match the window type and operation of existing windows. The interior of the Nature Center was renovated with modern materials while keeping historical elements in place where possible. Moldings at the ceilings and decorative columns in the foyer, a grand staircase, and built-in millwork in the lobby were all restored. Mosaic floor tile original to the building was retained at the foyer and hallway. Fireplaces, which were closed up in the 1972 renovation, were uncovered and the decorative millwork surrounding them was restored. In order to renovate the building to accommodate current needs, a new addition was designed which provides a 50% increase in area to the building's footprint. Providing this additional building mass while honoring the scale and architectural detail of the historic mansion was the greatest challenge of the project. To solve this, the design used concepts of concealment, sequence, and reveal. The massing of the new addition was tucked underneath and behind the existing structure and shaped to extend out into the sloping landscape. The addition is clad in sand-blasted limestone panels set in a large-scale vertical common bond pattern to contrast with the coarse, rough-faced limestone of the original building. The roof of the new gallery aligns with the existing mansion's main entry and is covered in a planted terrace that nearly conceals its presence from the exterior. A dark, modern railing caps off the new addition and disappears when looking into the landscape beyond. While preserving the character of the historic architecture, the redeveloped Ford Nature Center provides new experiences for the city of Youngstown. What once was a private mansion residence is now an open public amenity, fully renovated for all to learn about the surrounding ecosystems that sustain us. For these reasons, AIA Cleveland is pleased to present the Ford Nature Center with the award for compatible new addition to a historic structure. The AIA Award for compatible design of new construction in a historic district goes to the College Club Townhomes. Located within the Euclid Heights Historic District and adjacent to the historic College Club Mansion, these townhomes are an excellent example of how modern and historic architectural features can exist harmoniously without one overshadowing the other. In the first phase of the project, the National Register listed College Club House and adjacent historic carriage house were converted into 14 apartments and awarded a Celebration of Preservation Award in 2022. The second phase of this project presented an opportunity to celebrate the historic property while introducing additional housing. The design intent of the townhomes is respectful of the scale and architecture of a special historic piece of property in Cleveland Heights. The double gable ends of the front facade of the College Club are replicated on the front facade of the townhome that fronts Overlook Drive. Other elements from the historic building are brought into the townhouse design, such as the windows clustered in threes, protruding bay windows, front porches, and the formal landscaped entry approach, all reimagined in new materials. A new feature, horizontal siding, was introduced, and all of the building materials were selected to harmonize and complement with the color scheme of the existing brick on the College Club. Though the townhomes are taller in height than the historic house, they are also set close to the street, making them distinct from the College Club without overpowering it. The buildings at the rear of the new development take on a language that is respectful of the nearby historic carriage house. The townhomes were designed to emulate the scale and architecture of the neighboring historic structure and other homes in the Euclid Heights Historic District. The historic College Club building is an excellent representation of its time, and the townhouses are an excellent representation of ours. They are relatives of different generations who like and respect each other. The College Club of Cleveland project has created a diverse and stable addition to the Euclid Heights Historic District and the surrounding community. The townhomes contribute to the mix of rental and for sale housing offered by the broader College Club project. For these reasons, AIA Cleveland is pleased to present the Clubhouse Townhomes with the award for a compatible design in a historic district. The Outstanding Stewardship Award and AIA Craftsmanship Award are presented to St. Vincent de Paul Church. Founded in 1853, St. Vincent de Paul is the oldest Catholic parish in Akron. The handsome Romanesque Revival-style church was completed in 1867. The interior of the church is adorned with plaster ornamentation, decorative painting, and sculpture, much of which was installed during renovations that took place in 1941. The congregation raised funds to hire Icona Studios, craftspersons experienced in decorative art restoration, to refurbish the decorative elements in the sanctuary. Significant damage to the structural elements of the ornamentation needed to be repaired. Peeling paint and cracked plaster had to be remedied. Work began with repairs to the walls and then proceeded to many of the decorative elements. Electrical and lighting was updated while maintaining the vintage fixtures. Scaffolding was erected throughout the sanctuary so that all of the elements, including the paintings on the ceiling, could be accessed. Many of the surfaces were gently cleaned by hand with toothbrushes, removing years of grime. Three-dimensional ornate motifs had to be replaced by making molds of existing decoration and then casting new plaster elements. Bas-relief stations of the cross measuring 4 feet tall were rebuilt in areas and all were fully restored. Icona studios emphasized the architectural elements through their use of color. 24-karat gold leaf was used throughout as an accent. A faux finish on the pilasters emphasizes the definition of the structure and draws the eye up to make note of the height of the space. Use of colorist theories of light to dark and mute to bright were used to highlight the architectural lines of the sanctuary. Icona Studios took a comprehensive art and design approach to the restoration with the goal of not only repairing the ornamentation, but also highlighting the architectural elements inside the space. All of the work was executed meticulously by hand. It is for these reasons Cleveland Restoration Society and AIA Cleveland are pleased to present St. Vincent de Paul with the Outstanding Stewardship Award and the AIA Craftsmanship Award. The Outstanding Retrofit of a Historic Structure Award goes to the E.J. Kovacic Recreation Center. Constructed in 1920 at the St. Clair Avenue Public Bathhouse, the E.J. Kovacic Recreation Center was designed by architect Frederick H. Betts, the city's first architect. The first public bathhouse was opened in Cleveland in 1904 as part of progressive era efforts to address public health. By 1921, 7 bathhouses were in operation across the city. Today, the Kovacic Rec Center is one of 5 remaining bathhouses, 4 of which continue to serve as neighborhood recreation centers. The St. Clair Bathhouse was renamed in 1977 after Edward J. Kovacic, who served as bathhouse superintendent from 1933 to 1934, and later as councilman from 1940 to 1953. The building was designated as a Cleveland landmark in 1994. Originally built with a gymnasium, swimming pool, and locker rooms, the recreation center was updated more than once over the years. Updates included the remodeling of the front entrance in 1949 that modified 2 separate entrances into a single lobby. The City of Cleveland Division of Architecture, in consultation with the Landmark Commission, settled on this time period as the benchmark for this most recent restoration. Exterior work included selective repointing and repair of the exterior brick masonry and replacement of windows, reconstruction of the front stair and area well walls, and repair of the slate roof shingles. On the interior, the 2 existing stairs were repaired and retained, with the east stair walls removed to create an open stair from which the entire center can be understood, accessed, and enjoyed. Marble wall slats on the first floor were cleaned and reconfigured around new door openings. The new open central space carved from a warren of small spaces creates a heart that reflects the spirit of the community, providing visual connections to every program space in the facility. The gym was refreshed, the basketball court refurbished, and natural light was brought back to the indoor pool as a result of a change in grade level outside of the pool area. Over the years, numerous individuals suggested that the best option for this building was to demolish and replace it with a new structure. This belief was based not only on condition, but on the obsolete, inconvenient, and disorienting original layout. Instead of simply repairing the facility or expending a large amount of resources for new construction, the Division of Architecture and Site Development of the Mayor's Office of Capital Projects made the case to the city administration to provide enough additional capital to implement an innovative, transformative design that particularly embraced significant structural changes related to enhancing the user experience by removing partial floors and load-bearing walls. This addition by subtraction strategy has preserved this Cleveland landmark for future generations by transforming E.J. Kovacic into a modern recreation center at about 1/3 the cost of demolition and replacement. Risking this transformation from the original obsolete compartmentalized layout to an open, vibrant space eliminated the risk that this landmark would be demolished. The passion and dedication of the project team to the E.J. Kovacic Recreation Center has resulted in a retrofit that is welcoming and community-centered. It is for these reasons that AIA Cleveland and Cleveland Restoration Society present the Outstanding Retrofit of a Historic Structure Award to the E.J. Kovacic Recreation Center. The Dedication to Preservation Award goes to the Robertson Lawrence House. Located in the Ohio City Preservation District, this 1872 Italianate home has been lovingly restored by homeowners Paul Meeker and Ann Michaels. Designed by architects Kudell and Richardson, this prominent house was first occupied by Dr. Irving Robertson, a surgeon who served in the Union Army. As time passed, the house was gradually altered to form a single-family home into a boarding house. By the time Paul and Anne acquired the property, it had been awkwardly divided, and much of the original historic material was lost. Despite this, the couple would envision what a grand home this once was and could be again. In order to follow through on their vision, Paul and Anne hired D.H. Ellison Architects to work out how to go about reinstating lost historic material on the exterior of the house. D.H. Ellison Architects used an extremely high-resolution historic photograph along with graphic manipulation software and computer-aided drafting software to get a very close approximation of original millwork and other design elements that have been reconstructed on the exterior. These elements included the original side entrance in addition to much of the decorative millwork. The house was sinking into the ground and needed major structural work at the basement level. The entire frame was jacked up and repairs made. This allowed the homeowners to completely remodel the basement, which now functions as another living space that opens to the back garden. On the second floor, the ceiling to the attic had been removed to create a vaulted space. The ceiling was reinstated, restoring the original third floor space. Homeowner Paul Meeker is a self-taught carpenter who did a significant portion of the work himself, along with an Amish crew and a host of other tradespeople, including one of the few plasterers in the Cleveland area who restored the ceiling molding. Every door in the house is original, stripped, refinished, and rehung. Original pocket doors were removed from the wall structure, refinished, and replaced. The staircase and balustrade were restored. New curved portions of the stair railing were crafted by Paul. The house's windows were restored and, in some cases, replaced. The home is completely re-insulated to modern standards and has all new energy-efficient appliances and mechanical equipment. The project is an excellent example of a historical restoration that also updates the home's modern comforts and conveniences, bringing it into the 21st century. Cleveland Restoration Society and AIA Cleveland are pleased to present the Dedication to Preservation Award to the Robertson Lawrence House. The Award of Excellence for Adaptive Reuse goes to the John H. Lehman High School, the second oldest remaining public school building in Canton, Ohio. The John H. Lehman High School was built in the Jacobean Revival style between 1921 and 1923. Designed by architects Albert L. Thayer and Roland M. Johnson, the school first served as a junior high school and was later converted to use as a high school in 1932. The building was vacated by the Canton School District in 2004 and slated for demolition in 2014. Those plans did not materialize, but it would be 6 years later before the rehabilitation work would start. In 2020, a partnership formed between A.M. Rodriguez Associates, Inc. and East Akron Neighborhood Development Corporation and the City of Canton to redevelop the property into a 62-unit senior housing complex that offers a variety of affordable apartments. After sitting vacant for 15 years, the building had deteriorated with high levels of mold and water infiltration, causing plaster and floors to fail. Despite the challenges of the pandemic, the partnership moved forward with renovations. On the exterior, the project scope included masonry stabilization with repairs to the light well and parapet. Windows and doors at the high school had been replaced in a non-sympathetic style. New fenestration replacement now complements the historic character. A new ADA entry was introduced in a rear corner of the building. The interior rehabilitation of the 96,594 square foot former school respected the terrazzo corridor and relationship between doors and existing classrooms while introducing demising walls for residential units. Stairwells and glass doors were maintained. An elevator was introduced to allow the entire building to be ADA accessible. The auditorium remains intact, including the proscenium. The floor was leveled at the stage to allow for ADA accessibility. The auditorium is used as a community room with residential units introduced under the balcony. Additional amenities include a small workout room, laundry facilities, lounge, and on-site hair salon. A wonderful surprise was discovered as construction was underway. A beautiful tile mural was found concealed by drywall. The mural, located in the main corridor across from the front doors, consisted of a water fountain and triptych depicting a landscape of water, land, sky, and bird. The center image depicts the Tree of Learning. The mural was designed by American Encaustic Tiling Company of Zanesville, Ohio. Only a few tiles were missing from the image, but the water fountain had been completely removed. The mural was restored and complementary materials were installed where the fountain had been. The $19.5 million renovation paired low-income housing tax credits with historic preservation tax credits and several other creative financing techniques to make this adaptive use possible. Now known as Oxford Place, the building is home to senior residents who are enjoying this beautiful historic space full of amenities. It is for these reasons the John H. Lehman High School is being presented with the Award of Excellence for Adaptive Reuse. Thank you for attending tonight's program. We are so grateful for all our members, supporters, and partners that have made this evening possible. If you're interested in participating in more preservation-related events, we hope you will consider joining the Cleveland Restoration Society. Membership includes a subscription to our biannual magazine, Facade, and opportunities to participate in preservation events, including our free behind-the-scenes Snoop tours. If you would like to play a larger role in preserving, protecting, and celebrating Cleveland's historic buildings and places, please consider donating to the Cleveland Restoration Society's annual fund. Your contribution will provide much needed operating support that enables CRS to champion preservation projects that foster vibrant and inclusive communities. Log on to clevelandrestoration.org to learn more. Be sure to save the date, Friday, November 3rd, for the AIA Cleveland Design Awards. Each year, AIA Cleveland recognizes excellence in design by inviting local firms to submit their best work to be reviewed by nationally renowned juries from all over the country. With over 500 attendees on a regular basis, this event is one of the largest to recognize architectural and interior design excellence in Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. That concludes the 2023 celebration of preservation. Congratulations to all of tonight's winners. Thank you for celebrating with us. Good night.